Good evening and welcome to this episode of the Who's Who in Guyana Business Show. I'm Dr. Vishnu Doerga, your host as usual, and today we have a very packed program with business education, of course, more information about how you can get your hands on a new copy of the Who's Who in Guyana Business Directory, and the HerVenture app with some progress on how that is going. We are getting quite a lot of participants are now completing the entire 85 module lessons of the program, and we're getting them into the office and having some interaction with them as well. We will be having an event that I'll tell you about a little bit later in the program, and as usual, we'll have our special guests with us later in the show. Now, we did have just 1 week ago the launch of the Who's Who in Guyana Business Directory. You can see right behind me the cover of the new edition. If you don't already have your hands on a copy, I would encourage you to get your copy as early as possible. You can pick it up at our office at 120 Parade Street, right opposite the Theatre Guild, the ActionCOACH office, of course. And you will get your hands on what is really fantastic business knowledge. Again, this year, the Who's Who has expanded significantly. So get your hands on it so you can really see what the leading companies in Guyana are doing. We were also featured across the media, different media channels, and I would like to share with you some of that coverage from NCN and Newsroom. So let's take a look at how the launch really unfolded.
From the massive Liza Unity vessel, the Pegasus Suites and Corporate Center, and the Ramada Princess Hotel, the 138-page third edition of the Who's Who Business magazine includes Guyana's economic growth projections and covers 14 sectors, outlining the main players in each sector. At the launch on Tuesday evening, Minister of Tourism, Commerce and Industry Onij Waldron underscored the importance of the business magazine at this juncture of Guyana's development, where partnership is key as it gives much needed visibility to local businesses on the international market.
The fact that the Who's Who publication covers all these sectors and indeed many more is testimony to the breadth of opportunity that awaits the serious investor here in Guyana.
With this third edition, the publisher, who is the head of ActionINVEST Caribbean Inc, Vishnu Doerga, noted that there has been a 25% increase in the number of entities featured when compared to 2020. And this, he said, gives a clear indication that Guyanese investors and business operators are saying that they are open for business. Interest in Guyana's local business has grown tremendously, Doerga added, as seen by the traction on the Who's Who Guyana website, with over 100,000 visits being made in the past year.
If we turn our attention to what's happening, we can see a deep sense of urgency beginning to take hold of our economy and of our people. An urgency to be prepared to educate ourselves and raise the standards of our companies.
Similar sentiments were also echoed by the British High Commissioner to Guyana, Jane Miller, who shared that the United Kingdom wants to maintain its strong partnership with this country through business.
But what an exciting time to be in Guyana. I've just been here 3 months. Economic growth, 20+%. In many countries are in decline, particularly during the pandemic. So this is an incredibly exciting country to be in.
The unveiling of the business directory was done by the High Commissioner, editor of the publication David Doerga, Deputy Trade Commissioner of Latin America and the Caribbean Spencer Mahoney, and Minister Waldron. A digital copy of the publication can be sourced on www.who'swho.gy. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Shakima Day.
In unveiling the cover of the 2022 edition of the Who's Who in Guyana Business magazine, Minister Unij Waldron says it serves in outlining the main players in each sector. She also used the opportunity to remind local firms to prepare for a post-petroleum future, equipping them to compete on the global market.
Local businesses must aim to acquire resources and modern capabilities that will enable them to maximize their efficiency. They must aim to grow in scale and scope, and they must, most critically, be prepared to expand beyond our borders to become regionally and globally competitive. It is only by taking our place in the world of competitive international business that we can be assured.
Meanwhile, Chairman of ActionINVEST Caribbean Inc. and publisher of the business directory Vishnu Doerga said the directory provides a framework on how to collaborate with foreign partners.
We have seen that many companies really have an urgency to invest in the many direct, indirect, and induced areas of opportunities created by the developing oil and gas industry. We look forward as well to the natural resource fund allocations coming out, so we also know in which direction we need to invest. And again, these are some of the areas that the companies featured in the Who's Who continue to ask for. Well, what's happening here? What's happening here? What do we need to do? And we really love the amount of clarity that is coming up.
The unveiling of the business directory was done by British High Commissioner Jane Miller, editor of the publication Divya Durga, Deputy Trade Commissioner of Latin America and the Caribbean Spencer Mahoney, and Minister Waldron. The magazine is a unique business directory which specifically targets businesses that seek to invest and build partnerships in Guyana. It is organized by industry and provides a customized layout of company profiles, contact information, and photographs of key business players. A digital copy of the publication can be sourced on www.who'swho.gy. Canisia Hamilton, NCN News.
Welcome back. So there you had a little bit of a review of the launch of the directory, which took place last Tuesday. I would encourage you to get your hands on a copy. So if you can see what this looks like, it's even more powerful than when you look at the cover. And there's a lot of detail that went into producing this particular directory. But you'll have a look at it, and there is so much to be able to view. Take a look at it online. Of course, you can see scrolling at the bottom the contact information where you can find the Who's Who online. And we've already had so many companies reach out on how they can be part of the Who's Who. I must tell you that at any point in time, any organization operating in Guyana can get into the Who's Who in the online edition, and that immediately secures their space in the 2023 hard copy edition. So ensure that you reach out, get your copy, use it to connect with the many companies operating here in Guyana. And we'll be right back to share with you the updates on how it's going with the HerVenture business education app. See you shortly.
Tired of battery problems? Frustrate yourself no more. Reward your vehicle with power, innovation, and style with its sealed, maintenance-free calcium alloy plates, advanced technological build, and rigid testing processes. Platinum Batteries delivers every time. Get 2 years warranty and fast after-sales services. Available at all auto retailing stores countrywide. Imported and distributed by Caribbean Motor Spares. 174 Zeeluck Public Road, East Bank, Essequibo. Telephone 609-7621, 502-3171. Get your Platinum Battery now. Platinum Batteries, power of your journey.
Forum Furniture Store's showroom has furniture for the entire home. Furnish your living room, your dining room, your kitchen, and your bedroom. Also get that appliance that matches your style. Come fall in love at our showroom located at Lot 4, Monrepo North, right on the public road. Call us on 220-8107 or WhatsApp on 672-1881. Get more without paying more when you shop at 401 Furniture Store.
Thanks for staying with us. And yes, I must tell you that with the HerVenture app, we have just crossed 1,500 downloads. And it is amazing to see how many female entrepreneurs are really taking advantage of the opportunities that this app provides with doing all the lessons in the business app. And again, I would encourage you, if you haven't gotten it as yet, just type in HerVenture Guyana into your Android device or Apple device in your App Store, and it will immediately pop up. During the show as well, you'll see different opportunities to scan the QR code. All you need to do is point your camera, and you'll be able to see the code pop up and get to the download page. We were able to have visits from two of the persons who would have completed all the lessons on the app. And let's take a quick look. First, we'll hear from Canisia Hamilton on her experience with the app. So let's hear from Canisia.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Canisia Hamilton. I'm from West Coast of Berbice. Well, I've learned to launch your own business. I've enjoyed launching your own business because you identify motivation, vision, and good goals. I would recommend the app to women in business in Guyana because they can expand in their businesses, and those that don't have business or work, they could open their own business.
My name is Lacey Daniels. I'm from the east coast of Demawara in my colony. Well, I've learned about the management of businesses and the challenges that business owners may face. It's about the goals and visions about their businesses. I believe the main purpose of the app is to help women to learn and to gain more knowledge of becoming better business owners.
Very good. Welcome back. And there you heard from two young ladies about the impact that the app has made to them. I was around for one of the interviews, and it went a lot longer in terms of all the lessons learned, from financing your business to marketing, digital marketing, of course, and ensuring that your business is set up to be very resilient so it can deal with any kind of shocks like we had in the past 18 months. So again, I'd encourage you to make sure that you do get to download this app so that you can really also benefit, like many, many women are currently doing. We will now hear from Coach Keon Smith as he takes us through another 3 laws of leadership. And again, sharing so much needed information, as we all need to become leaders in this country right now to take our country, our business, our life, our family, our community forward. So let's hear from Coach Keon Smith.
Thank you very much, Dr. Doerga. And of course, it is always my pleasure to be here to share with our viewing audience. We are going to be finalizing those laws of leadership. And in this episode, we are going to be diving into the last laws of leadership that we're going to be sharing with you throughout this particular episode. We are going to commence with the law of sacrifice. And the law of sacrifice states that a leader must be willing to make personal sacrifices for the greater good of their team and their organization in order for it to achieve success. John Maxwell puts it very nicely in this quote where he states, "A leader must give up to go up." Think about yourself as a leader. What sacrifices are you currently making for the greater good of your team and or your organization? This aspect of leadership, this law dictates that one must be willing to put others before themselves and to take responsibility for continuous change and consistent improvement. It is how do we make sure that whether it's resources, there's our time, etc., that we're doing it for the greater good of everyone versus just for ourselves. The next law we're going to be touching on is the law of timing. And this law is extremely important. And this surrounds a leader and the decision that they make, when and how they make that particular decision, and the impact it can have on the organization or on the team, and even sometimes on themselves as a leader. So, good leaders recognize when it is time to lead versus just what they need to get to do, what they need to have. Good leaders recognize when it is time to lead versus just where they're going or what needs to get done. And leadership in itself involves making good or even great decisions at the right time. And I love this little play on decision making, where John Maxwell puts it that the wrong action at the wrong time leads to disaster. That's number one. Then again, the right action at the wrong time brings resistance. And finally, the wrong action at the right time is a mistake. As leaders, how do we strive to be in a position to make sure that the timing of our decision is absolutely on point? Because the right action at the right time results in success. So think about your decision making skills and capabilities. Are you making the right decision at the right time? Then we have the law of explosive growth. This law states that in order to add growth to an organization, then lead followers. But if you really want to add massive growth, if you want to multiply significantly, then it is important for you to lead other leaders. So this in itself is focusing on the leader, not just having persons who would follow and say yes to everything, but developing persons who can have good thinking capacity, can be innovative, great critical thinkers. How do you develop other leaders? When you can develop other leaders, you are setting your organization, your company, etc., up for massive growth, which means that you can actually duplicate your efforts somewhere else. And this is where organizations that are looking to expand, open another branch, etc., you would want someone there who is capable of exhibiting the same characteristics that you have been exhibiting currently. Might not be exactly to the letter, but at least the person is demonstrating great leadership skills and they can help that branch to become successful. So overall, developing leaders really leads to explosive growth within companies and their organizations. And finally, our last law is the law of legacy. And this simply means that in order to measure a leader's ability, in order to measure a leader's value, it is all about succession planning. When that person steps down, who's going to take over? And the person's taking over, do they have the necessary skills and ability to actually continue leading the organization in an effective manner? Effective leadership involves setting examples for the persons around you, and it's more than just setting it by your ideas, by your actions, but more specifically by the values that you leave in persons, the way you're able to inspire them to continue on even after your departure as the current leader. So legacy in itself comes when leaders are in a position to put others to do great things without them. I'll repeat that. Legacy comes when leaders are in a position to put others to do great things without them. Are you creating followers within your organization, your company, etc., or are you creating more leaders? So think about yourself as an individual, think about your leadership skills, and are you becoming a leader worth following? To learn more about leadership and any other program that we offer here at Action Invest Caribbean Inc., you can give us a call on 223-5583, and one of our team members will be more than happy to take you through the process so that you can continue to grow as a leader.
And welcome back. Welcome back. Now we will be hearing from Coach Premendra Parsan, and he'll be taking us through a very interesting topic, which is all about selling, right? Because every one of us has to be able to sell what we do. Even when you go for a job interview, you're basically selling your skills. If you are doing a service, you have to make sure that persons understand the benefit of the service. Selling a product, of course, you have to make sure that you can communicate very clearly what the benefits are, and also to understand what the problem is that someone is looking to solve, and does your product match that? Because when you are in a situation where you're just pushing your product and it doesn't really meet the requirements of the customer, a sale is very unlikely. So there's a lot that goes into the science of selling, and Coach Prem is here to tell us more about how all of that fits together. So let's hear it.
And thank you, Dr. Doerga. As we continue our conversation on our Seminar Club modules, we are coming up with SalesRICH next. And our SalesRICH presentation, you'll be able to benefit from a whole lot, and your team will be able to benefit as well. So you may be facing some frustrations with your team. Customers are coming in, and the conversion rate or the conversations that your sales team is having with your customers, it's not bearing fruit. We're having conversations, but yet still customers are not buying. So we want to be able to find ways of how we can be able to improve our sales team. How can they become much more effective? So we want to be able to find out how can we get the results, get those targets, reach those targets, so that our business can be able to be successful and be able to be sustainable. So as we look at our SalesRICH seminar, we'll be able to identify for your team what are the key things, how to be able to set goals so that they can be able to reach those goals. Goals that are realistic, goals that they can be able to reach, be inspired, and be motivated to pursue. So as we set those goals, we want to be able to align the skills and the techniques so that they can be able to perform much better. In our session, you'll be able to have takeaways such as how to be able to build rapport. You see, it's important for us as salespeople to be able to connect, and not everybody can be able to connect at that level. So we want to be able to equip you with the tools that you can be able to build rapport and connect with your customers. You want to be able to have a flow, a sales flow, a process in which we take our customers through. So it's a guarantee. It's not maybe an 80% guarantee or maybe 100% guarantee that your customers will come back and buy. We want to be able to identify and connect with the different personalities. You see, there are different styles, and when we can be able to understand those styles, then we're able to connect. So in our sales presentation, you'll be able to understand what are the techniques, understand personality styles, develop a process or a flow of that your sales can take, and to be able to develop questions, a questioning process that will be able to equip your sales team to be much more effective. So join us on November the 18th and the 25th. For those of you who are looking to be able to train your entire team, we can come to your organization and train your team. We can have specific tailor-made sales training modules for your team so that they can be able to be much more equipped for your customers, to be able to reach your targets so that your company can be on the map, reaching your goals, to be able to be sustainable in the future. So register today. It's 223-5583. I'll see you then.
Being a business owner is a lonely job. As business continues to change so rapidly, staying ahead and above water can feel overwhelming. You have little time to concentrate on growing your business because you're stuck working in your business. Your attention is on the day-to-day operations, handling emergencies, and you are challenged to create that winning team that can run your business when you aren't there. You aren't making the money you could be because you aren't focused on multiplying your profitability. What would it feel like if your business finally gave you more than you put into it? Wouldn't it be nice to have a business that works without you? To have a team of customer-focused individuals who delivered on your company's promise even when you aren't there? Wouldn't it be great to be able to have the time to enjoy your family and have real work-life balance? You can live your best business life. But how? Most businesses invest in professional expertise in the most important aspects of their business. You hire an accountant or financial advisor to ensure your money is managed effectively. You hire a lawyer to help you navigate legal matters. Why not hire a business coach to help you with everything else? An action coach is a certified professional who brings with them a unique perspective and a set of skills to help you re-energize your business operation. They will help you find new, effective ways to solve some of your most taxing business challenges. Employing an action coach is a partnership, a relationship, and they will mentor you as your business grows. Quite simply, an action coach will help you find ways to have more time, build more effective teams, and make more money. Action Coach is the leading coaching company in the world with nearly 1,000 coaches working with more than 18,000 businesses a week. We not only expect results, we guarantee them with our 17-week guarantee. You can choose from a variety of business programs, from one-to-one coaching to group coaching. There is something for every business and every budget. Your business is not broken, and adding an action coach to your team will transform you into a powerful and robust business in your community. Working with a business coach can help you set up systems, processes, and strategies to help your business run more effectively and ultimately get ahead of your competition. You aren't alone, and we will work with you to help you find the most precious of resources: time. It is time to invest in your business and invest in your future. Go to actioncoach.com, and the first coaching session is on us.
Welcome back. And there you had some more useful information as well, especially from Coach Prem on what selling really means and how you can benefit from having a far more educated and equipped sales force. We'll now hear from Ms. Rodlin Semple, who will be talking to us about the difference between the terms certification and accreditation. We keep hearing a lot of these words being thrown around, and it is so important in a developing country like ours, a developing economy like ours, for us to be very familiar with what these terms mean so that we can use them correctly and then also use them in our own planning process. So let's hear from Rodlin.
Thank you, Dr. Doerga. We will examine two terms that are used interchangeably, so more with the emergence of oil and gas in Guyana. So many companies, they would like to implement a quality management system. They say we would like to get some sort of accreditation, certification. We will examine the two terms and give explanations to how they can be used. So first of all, when we talk about certification, certification is basically we're a third party. This third party is usually independent of the service provider, or let's say a secondary provider of the service. So they're independent. So certification is a third party attestation whereby that independent body comes into the picture and they basically evaluate your system. So this evaluation can be to a product, it can be to a process, and it can also be to a service. So certification basically it's for management systems, those systems that manage companies. The ISO 9001, it's a quality management system that allows you to manage quality and also enable it to be, done consistently. A 45001 system, it's an occupational safety and health management system. ISO 22000, it's a food safety. So certification, it's to management systems. Now we have some personnel say we want ISO 9001 accreditation. That is not correct. Certification deals with product, processes, and systems. So you can have certification of crane operators to a specific standard. So when we're talking about accreditation, accreditation basically talks about a competence. So we cannot have certification of competence because that's a big no-no. Certification deals with management systems. Now, when we come to accreditation, accreditation is whereby that authoritative body basically tells you that a particular body, now this body can either be an inspection body that inspects product, it can be a testing body, a body that conducts testing, and it can be a certification. Now, the difference is that accreditation, it's for conformity assessment. So conformity assessment is basically saying that what we are actually doing, it's meeting criteria. And accreditation deals with competence. As such, a keynote to note is that it's to conformity assessment standards. And those standards are basically in the 17,000 series. So accreditation deals with competence. Certification, it's a third-party attestation whereby you would like to know whether or not that product or the process is following requirements. So there are two distinct terms. We cannot have certification at a lab, right? It has to be accreditation because we want to guarantee that those test results, those inspectors, and those persons who are going to certify the processes are competent to conduct this. For further information on how these two terms can apply to you, or for further information, give us a call on telephone numbers 501-0110 or send an email at iso@actioninvest.org.
Camille Academy Inc. We are the premier provider for private education in Guyana, and through our mission, our excellent team delivers a well-balanced curriculum that integrates technology and innovation to our educational programs to inspire children to reach their highest levels of success. Enroll now for nursery, primary, and secondary level.
Check us out at any one of our 4 locations or contact us today.
Camille's Academy Inc. Be inspired to innovate.
So let me teach you the most important formula you'll ever learn in business. The 5 ways, how to multiply the bottom line profits of your business. Now there's only really 5 ways to grow a business. Leads times conversion equals number of customers. Now, what are your leads? The potential customers, the ones that contacted you. Your conversion rate, now that's the percentage of those leads that you turn into actual customers, the ones that purchased from you. Now, you multiply the number of customers by the number of transactions, that's your repeat business, and your average sale. That gives you your total sales, your revenues. Multiply that by margins, and you get the take-home profits. The 5 ways. See, people ask me about 3 things: customers, revenues, and profits. I put them up here in red. Why? The most important? No, the least important. See, they're the results of the other 5 items. The most important items you can work on are your number of leads, your conversion rate, your repeat business or number of transactions, your average sale, and your margins. Let's put some numbers in to make it make sense. Let's imagine in your little business you had 4,000 potential customers last year. You sold to 1 in 4 of them, or 25%. That means you've got 1,000 customers in your little business. Now, let's pretend that on average they came back twice a year to buy from you. Some bought 100 times, some bought once, and you never saw them again, but the average was twice. And again, average sale. Let's make it 100 just for ease of math's sake. Again, some spent 5, some spent 500. Now, if you look at it, that gives you 200,000 in revenues in this little business. 1,000 times 2 times 100. Let's make it easy and give you 25% margins to give you a take-home profit of 50,000. Now, we're going to work on 5 areas. We're not going to try and double them. We're not going to try and do anything magic. We're only going to improve them by 10%. So 4,000, if you learn everything we teach here at Action Coach, we can get you to 4,400 pretty easy. In fact, you could probably do it by just 1 or 2 of the 80 plus strategies we can teach you. Conversion rate, more than 70 strategies to increase your conversion rate. Add that to the increase in your lead rate, and all of a sudden now at 27.5, 10% better, you're at 1,210 customers. Then we got to work on repeat business strategies. Again, more than 60 of those. In this case, we're only going 10% up, 2 to 2.2. Then we go on to your average sale. Again, we're only looking for 10% improvements in these areas. So 100 becomes 110. So of course we've increased revenue by 10%. No. It's a 46% increase. See that? 292,820. Then we go to $80,525.50. That's a 61% improvement in your bottom line profits by just working on 5 areas. Now imagine we could do it increased by 30% in each of the areas. Look at the numbers. The numbers become staggering. Now you might get 10% in one area, 20% in another, 30% in another, or even larger. Here we go, 185,000. The 5 ways, it's real results for you to grow your business. So connect with us here at Action Coach. Get in touch. Let's help you multiply the 5 ways of your business and increase your profits.
Shopping with Ali & Sons is now more easier than ever. Find your product, click Add to Cart, click Proceed to check out, enter your email, click Continue as guest, enter your name and address, choose your delivery options, click Continue, then click Place Order. It's that easy. One of our customer service representatives will contact you to confirm, and in several hours, your items will be delivered to your door.
Welcome back. Now, I wanted to share with you on this particular show on the topic of financing. We at ActionINVEST here run a lot of training programs, and one of the key ones that is constantly requested is financial literacy. And not just for employees, but also for business owners. Especially if you're a new business owner or existing business owner, how do you get the funds to get your business started? Now, if it is small, it is relatively easy to use your savings or borrow from friends or family. In management, we sometimes call them the 3 Fs, friends, family, or fools, because in many cases, that money is never returned. And again, I would strongly recommend that you make an agreement with anybody lending you money so that you can be very clear on how they will be receiving back their investment that they made into your business. However, as you develop, especially as you go through the first and second year, and we know that this is not just a hobby business or so, it's really something that could develop further. I would encourage you to start looking at other kinds of financing. Now, the easiest one, the safest one is to reinvest the profits, the net profits that you make into your business. We refer to that in management as retained earnings, to plug that back into your business to expand. However, that is usually not sufficient because for goods, if you're selling tangible products, you may be earning a net profit of somewhere between 10 and 30% generally. And it means then that if you're earning between 10 to 30% generally and you reinvest all of that money, that you can grow only at that rate. It limits the rate of growth, which means that if you have a business that really has the potential to scale up much faster, you may need larger amount of financing. Now, this larger amount of financing usually comes in two forms, either equity financing or debt financing. So let's take debt financing first. The major source of debt financing in Guyana and around the world is from commercial banks, where you present them with a business plan and indicate the amount of funds that you're seeking in order to grow your business. The bank will, of course, review your request and then determine if it is more for short-term activities, for which they may then present you with an overdraft option, or if it's for long-term activities, such as the buying of fixed assets like properties and vehicles. And that would, of course, come to you then in the form of a loan. The banks will also indicate the interest rate, and mostly for commercial rates, the rates range between 8 to about 14%. And this depends on a host of factors, from your relationship with the bank to the amount of security you have, to your track record. And I would encourage you that even if you're not yet getting a loan from the bank, to deposit the earnings of your company into the bank and then withdraw to use for your operating expenditure, so that the bank can start understanding your operations a little bit better from a financial perspective. And I would also encourage you to ensure that you keep an eye on the interest rate, because whatever money is generated by your business will have to pay those interest rates. Now, in this case, the bank does not own any part of your business. You're basically paying a fixed amount monthly to repay the loan that you would have taken. The other option is equity financing. And with equity financing, you are actually giving up a portion of your company. It could be, a fraction of a percent up to 99%. As long as you hold a fraction, you still own part of the company. And in this case, the investor would be buying shares into your company, for which they're expecting future dividends, which basically means that on a month-to-month basis, you're not repaying them any amount of interest or so. However, at the end of the year, when the company has made a profit, you would then pay them in proportion to the shares that they own within your company. And again, this would come with a dividend policy and a reinvestment policy. And if any of this is very interesting to you and you need to learn a lot more about how to grow much faster, reach out. We are looking at, in December, starting up a once-a-month session exactly around these kind of topics, because we have seen from what is happening in the market that we do need to elevate our level of financing literacy, financial literacy, so that we can really make use of all the opportunities that are coming around. We've heard very recently from our minister, from the investors, that they do need bigger projects. They do need better projects. And again, these projects have to come from individuals like yourself. I trust this was useful. And if you are interested in benefiting from the courses that I would have mentioned, feel free to reach out so that we can really help you prepare yourself for what is to come in our economy. I'm Dr. Vishnu Doerga. Love being your host as usual, and I look forward to being with you again next week. Take care, have a safe week, and ensure that you collect your copy of the Who's Who in Guyana Business Directory. Download the HerVenture app, visit our office, and it will be done for you. You'll also get a copy of the Who's Who so that we can really have you accelerating your growth.